Have you ever wondered why, out of the billions of people on this planet, you fell in love with that specific person? Why does their presence ignite something within you that no one else can? Carl Jung, the revolutionary psychoanalyst, believed there are no accidents in the realm of love. Your deepest connections are cosmic orchestrations, not random encounters. What if I told you that the person you love was destined to find you through ancient, mystical forces that Jung spent decades uncovering? That beneath the surface of your relationship lies a spiritual blueprint so profound it transcends ordinary understanding? In the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal Jung's two most mystical explanations for why love finds us. Explanations that might forever change how you see your relationships. This isn't about cute compatibility quizzes or surface-level attraction. This goes far deeper, into the collective unconscious, where archetypes and synchronicities operate beyond our conscious awareness, pulling the strings of fate. The person who makes your heart race? According to Jung, they might be carrying a fragment of your soul that you've been searching for across lifetimes. If you've ever felt an inexplicable connection, like you've known someone forever when you've just met, Jung would say that's not just a feeling. It's a recognition at the soul level. Keep watching to discover why Jung believed your deepest relationships are cosmic appointments, not accidents, and how understanding these forces can transform your connection from ordinary to extraordinary. Before we dive deeper, if you're fascinated by the hidden psychological dimensions of love and relationships, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. This channel explores the profound wisdom of Carl Jung and how it applies to modern relationships. Knowledge that can transform your understanding of love forever. Carl Gustav Jung stands apart from other psychological theorists in how he approached love and human connection. While Freud reduced love to sexual impulses and attachment theorists focused on childhood bonds, Jung saw something more mystical at work, forces that connect the material and spiritual realms through our relationships. What makes Jung's perspective so revolutionary is that he didn't just observe behavior or catalog symptoms. He mapped the invisible architecture of the human psyche, including the forces that draw souls together. Jung was willing to explore what others dismissed as unscientific: dreams, synchronicities, mythological patterns, and the collective unconscious. Through these lenses, he discovered that love is not random but operates according to spiritual principles that most modern psychology still refuses to acknowledge. The first thing we need to understand about Jung's approach is that he didn't see the psyche as limited to the space between your ears. Instead, he viewed it as extending beyond your individual consciousness, connecting to a vast ocean of shared human experience, the collective unconscious. This means your attraction to someone isn't just about their physical appearance or personality traits. It's about something much deeper happening beneath the surface, a recognition at the soul level that transcends ordinary awareness. What Jung discovered about love challenges everything we think we know about relationships. It suggests that the deepest connections we form aren't accidental but are orchestrated by forces greater than our conscious minds can comprehend. Now, let's explore the first mystical reason Jung believed love finds us: the profound power of the Anima and Animus, the hidden counterparts of our souls. Have you ever felt an immediate, almost magnetic pull toward someone you've just met? That sensation of, I feel like I've known you my entire life? According to Jung, this isn't just romantic fantasy. It's your psyche recognizing something profoundly important. Jung proposed that each of us carries within us an unconscious image of the opposite gender. Men carry the anima, feminine energy, and women carry the animus, masculine energy. These aren't just concepts but living psychological realities that shape our deepest attractions. What makes this truly mystical is that these inner figures act as bridges between your conscious personality and the deeper layers of your unconscious. They hold the keys to your wholeness, to becoming a complete human being. When you fall in love, Jung would say you're not just attracted to the person, you're recognizing in them the embodiment of your own soul's missing half. Your anima or animus is being projected onto them, creating that electric feeling of recognition and completion. This is why new love feels so transcendent, so magical. You're not just meeting another person, you're encountering a living symbol of your own unconscious wholeness. You're seeing, perhaps for the first time, the missing pieces of yourself reflected back at you. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Jung believed these projections weren't arbitrary. Your unconscious doesn't randomly select someone to project upon. There's something in that specific person that resonates with your inner image, a genuine correspondence between your inner anima/animus and their actual being. The mystical aspect is that this process operates largely beyond conscious control or understanding. Your psyche recognizes what it needs for wholeness before your conscious mind can articulate it. This is why logical checklists for potential partners often fail. The deepest attractions operate at a soul level that rationality cannot access. What makes this first mystical reason so profound is that Jung saw it as more than psychological. It borders on the spiritual. The Anima/Animus isn't just a concept or mental construct. It's an autonomous inner being with its own agenda, your psychological and spiritual completion. Think about this. Have you ever been completely rational about who you fall in love with? Of course not. That's because love begins in the unconscious, not in conscious decision-making. Your anima or animus is guiding you toward what your soul needs, not what your ego wants. This explains why we sometimes fall for people who don't check all our conscious boxes. The unconscious has its own wisdom that operates beyond our limited understanding of ourselves. It's seeking balance, wholeness, and integration, not just compatibility or shared interests. Jung observed that when we fall in love, we often experience a kind of altered state of consciousness. Colors seem brighter, food tastes better, the world feels more alive. This isn't just poetic language, it's a genuine shift in perception caused by the activation of these deep archetypal energies. If you're finding this perspective on love fascinating, you'll be even more amazed by the second mystical reason Jung discovered, which we'll explore in just a moment. It explains those unexplainable coincidences that brought you and your loved one together. The real transformation happens when we begin to withdraw these projections and recognize that what we love in the other is also within ourselves. This doesn't diminish love, it deepens it. We move from unconscious projection to conscious relationship, seeing the other not just as a carrier of our soul image but as a separate individual with their own journey. Jung called this process individuation, the journey toward psychological wholeness. And remarkably, our most significant relationships serve as the primary vessels for this sacred inner work. The people we love most deeply are often our greatest teachers on the path to self-knowledge. This is why relationship challenges can feel so threatening. They're not just external conflicts but inner struggles for wholeness playing out between two people. When relationships trigger intense emotions, it's often because they're touching these deep archetypal patterns. Now let's explore Jung's second mystical explanation for why love isn't accidental. The profound principle of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that defy conventional causality. Jung defines synchronicity as an acausal connecting principle. Events connected not by cause and effect but by meaning and significance. This is where Jung's thinking becomes truly revolutionary, venturing into territory that mainstream psychology still struggles to acknowledge. Think about how you met your significant other. Was there a chain of seemingly random events that had to align perfectly for your paths to cross? A last-minute decision to attend an event? A missed train that put you in exactly the right place at the right time? Jung would say these aren't random coincidences but synchronicities, meaningful connections orchestrated by deeper patterns in the collective unconscious. The universe seems to conspire to bring together souls that are meant to meet. Have you ever experienced this? That strange feeling that something beyond ordinary chance was at work in bringing you together with someone significant? If you have, Jung would say you've experienced the mysterious workings of synchronicity. What makes synchronicity so mystical is that it suggests reality isn't just material. It's psychoid, meaning the physical and psychological realms are interconnected in ways our rational minds struggle to comprehend. The inner world of psyche and the outer world of matter aren't separate but are different expressions of a unified reality. In relationships, synchronicity manifests as those uncanny coincidences that facilitate meaningful connections. The book you both happen to be reading, discovering you grew up streets apart but never met, or having dreamed of each other before meeting. These aren't just interesting stories but glimpses into the underlying unified field connecting all consciousness. Jung documented numerous cases where patients' inner psychological processes were mirrored by external events in ways that defied probability. This led him to propose that the psyche isn't contained within the skull but extends into the world around us, influencing reality in subtle yet profound ways. The implications of synchronicity for relationships are profound. It suggests that your deepest connections aren't accidents or the result of conscious planning but are arranged by a kind of cosmic orchestration that brings together souls that resonate at compatible frequencies. This explains why sometimes the most significant relationships enter our lives when we least expect them, often after we've stopped actively searching and surrendered to life's flow. The unconscious seems to work most effectively when the ego steps aside. Jung observed that synchronicities tend to cluster around emotionally charged situations and major life transitions. This is why relationship beginnings and endings are often accompanied by strange coincidences, dreams, and meaningful signs that seem to validate the significance of what's happening. What's particularly fascinating is how synchronicity operates across time and space. Jung documented cases where individuals dreamed about people they would later meet, or experienced powerful premonitions about relationships before they manifested in physical reality. This suggests that on some level your significant relationships may exist as potentials in the fabric of reality before they materialize in your life, that your connection with certain souls transcends the limitations of linear time and physical space. If you've been enjoying these insights on Jung's mystical understanding of love, make sure you like this video and share it with someone who might benefit from this deeper perspective on relationships. In the next section we'll explore how these two mystical principles, Anima/Animus projection and synchronicity, interact to create the phenomenon we call fate or destiny in relationships. Jung's concept of synchronicity invites us to see our relationships not just as psychological bonds but as manifestations of a deeper cosmic ordering principle. This doesn't mean we lack free will. Rather, it suggests that our choices and unconscious patterns create resonances that attract compatible energies. Think of it like this. Your psyche emits a unique energetic signature based on your unconscious patterns, needs, and stage of development. This signature acts like a beacon, attracting experiences and people that resonate with your current psychological state and evolutionary needs. Now let's explore how Jung's two mystical principles, Anima/Animus projection and synchronicity, interact to create what we might call the choreography of fate in relationships. These two forces don't operate in isolation but work in tandem, creating a powerful matrix that guides our most significant connections. Your inner anima or animus creates a psychological readiness for specific relationships, while synchronicity arranges the external circumstances for these connections to manifest. This explains a phenomenon many people experience: meeting the right person at precisely the right moment in their psychological development. When you're unconsciously ready to confront certain aspects of yourself, a person who embodies those qualities often appears in your life as if by magic. Jung called this synchronistic resonance. When your inner psychological state creates a kind of magnetic field that attracts corresponding external experiences. Your unconscious needs and readiness create ripples in the collective unconscious that facilitate meaningful encounters. What's remarkable is how precise this mechanism can be. Have you noticed how people often meet partners who embody exactly what they need to work on psychologically? The proud person meets someone who teaches humility, the overly intellectual meets someone who opens their heart, the fearful meets someone who teaches courage. This is the wisdom of the unconscious at work. Not giving you what you want, but exactly what you need for your psychological and spiritual evolution. Your deepest relationships are custom-designed growth opportunities, not random encounters. Jung observed that significant relationships often occur at critical junctures in the individuation process, when you're ready to integrate previously unconscious aspects of your personality. The people who profoundly affect us are often catalysts for major psychological transformations. This is why significant relationships can be so challenging. They're not just about comfort and compatibility but about growth and transformation. The unconscious doesn't prioritize your comfort, it prioritizes your wholeness. Now that we understand Jung's mystical framework for love, how can we apply these insights to transform our relationships? Let's explore some practical wisdom derived from these profound concepts. First, recognize the projections. When you feel that overwhelming attraction or aversion to someone, pause and ask, what part of myself am I seeing in this person? Both positive and negative projections reveal important aspects of your unconscious that seek integration. Pay attention to your dreams, especially those featuring loved ones. Jung saw dreams as communications from the unconscious, often revealing the true nature of our relationships beyond conscious awareness. Dreams can show us where our projections are operating and what aspects of ourselves we need to reclaim. Honor the synchronicities in your relationship story. Those meaningful coincidences that brought you together aren't just cute anecdotes but glimpses into the deeper pattern connecting you. Acknowledging them can strengthen your sense of purpose and meaning as a couple. Understand that relationship challenges often reflect inner psychological tensions. When conflicts arise, look beyond the surface issue to the underlying archetypal patterns at play. Ask, what part of myself am I struggling with through this relationship dynamic? Practice active imagination, Jung's technique for dialoguing with unconscious figures. This can help you develop a relationship with your own anima or animus rather than solely projecting it onto a partner, creating more conscious and balanced connections. Recognize that attraction and compatibility operate at multiple levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Jung's framework helps us understand why we sometimes feel deeply connected to someone despite differences in personality or background. The resonance is happening at an archetypal level. Approach relationships as opportunities for mutual individuation. The highest form of relationship, from a Jungian perspective, isn't just romantic fulfillment but becoming a vessel for each other's psychological and spiritual development. Jung's mystical understanding of love challenges many modern assumptions about relationships. It suggests that the deepest connections aren't just about compatibility, shared interests, or physical attraction but about soul recognition and mutual evolution. This perspective offers profound comfort in times of relationship uncertainty. If you're questioning whether you're with the right person, Jung would invite you to look deeper, beyond surface compatibility to the soul lessons you're learning together. The right relationship isn't always the easiest one but the one that catalyzes your growth. Jung observed that our most challenging relationships often offer the greatest opportunities for psychological development. The people who trigger us most intensely are often mirroring aspects of our shadow, the disowned parts of ourselves that we need to integrate for wholeness. This mystical framework also helps explain why certain connections persist across time despite obstacles or separations. Jung documented numerous cases of what he called karmic relationships, connections that seem to transcend normal constraints, reuniting despite improbable odds. For Jung, even relationship endings carry spiritual significance. Rather than seeing breakups purely as failures, he viewed them as psychological completions, stages in our development that may have fulfilled their purpose in our individuation journey. What's particularly powerful about Jung's approach is that it honors both the spiritual and psychological dimensions of love. Unlike purely religious or purely scientific models, Jung's framework bridges these realms, showing how the transcendent works through human psychology. This integrated understanding helps explain why love feels simultaneously physical, emotional, and spiritual, because it operates at all these levels simultaneously. The chemistry we feel with someone isn't just biological but reflects deeper resonances in the psychoid realm where mind and matter converge. Jung's perspective also illuminates why certain relationships have transformative power. When we connect with someone who embodies important aspects of our unconscious, it creates the alchemical conditions for psychological transformation, what Jung called the conjunction of opposites. As we conclude this exploration of Jung's mystical understanding of love, let's remember the two profound principles we've discovered: the Anima/Animus projection that creates soul-level recognition, and the synchronicity that orchestrates meaningful encounters beyond mere chance. These principles reveal that you are not loved by accident. The deepest connections in your life are not random but reflect a profound pattern of psychological and spiritual significance, a cosmic choreography guiding souls toward mutual evolution and wholeness. What makes Jung's vision so powerful is that it doesn't diminish love by explaining it. It deepens our appreciation by revealing its true dimensions. Love isn't just a biological drive or emotional attachment but a spiritual force operating through the architecture of the human psyche. This perspective invites us to approach our relationships with greater reverence and awareness. Each significant connection becomes not just a source of personal fulfillment but a sacred opportunity for psychological integration and spiritual growth, a vessel for the great work of becoming whole. Whether you're currently in a relationship or seeking one, Jung's insights offer a richer map for navigating the territory of love. They encourage us to look beyond surface compatibility to the deeper currents of meaning flowing through our connections. In a world increasingly dominated by algorithmic matching and superficial compatibility, Jung's mystical framework reminds us that the deepest bonds transcend such mechanical approaches. True connection happens at levels that no dating app can quantify, in the mysterious resonance between souls. As you reflect on the significant relationships in your life, past, present, and future, consider them through this Jungian lens. What aspects of yourself have you discovered through loving others? What synchronicities guided these connections into your life? What deeper purpose might these relationships serve in your journey toward wholeness? Remember, the greatest relationships aren't those free from challenges but those that transform us, that lead us to parts of ourselves we couldn't have discovered alone. In the alchemy of connection, we find not just another person but our own hidden depths. You're not loved by accident. Your deepest connections are cosmic appointments, not random encounters. They reflect the profound wisdom of your unconscious, guiding you toward the people who will catalyze your evolution and help you become whole. If you found value in these Jungian insights on love and relationships, please subscribe to this channel for more explorations of depth psychology and its applications to modern life. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos on Jung's revolutionary ideas. Share this video with someone whose presence in your life feels meaningful beyond explanation. Someone who might appreciate understanding the deeper currents flowing through your connection. Remember, you're not loved by accident. Jung's two mystical reasons explain the profound forces that brought your most significant relationships into your life. The question now is, how will you honor the sacred purpose these connections serve in your journey?